This morning, NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warns the war in Ukraine could last for quite some time, telling a German newspaper, quote, "We must prepare for the fact that it could take years. We must not let up in supporting Ukraine, even if the costs are high, not only for military support, but also because of rising energy and food prices. But that is no comparison to the price that the Ukrainians have to pay every day with their many lives." Let's bring in retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton, who served as Assistant Vice Chief of Staff for the U.S. Air Force. Good morning to you, General. Do you believe what the NATO chief is saying is new? Because it appears as though we've heard that it was going to be a long game before. Maybe he's dashing any hope that this could be over this year.
Well, good morning, Adrienne. Again, the war is now nearing its fourth month. If you recall, the invasion kicked off by Russia invading Ukraine was in February 24th precisely. So what the NATO Secretary General is doing, I think, is right. I think he is calling that siren call, if you will, that this is going to be a long fight, not in terms of months, but in my view, and certainly in his view, well into 2023 and perhaps 2024. Prime Minister of Great Britain, Boris Johnson, who just visited President Zelensky, was echoing the same concerns, obviously, that this will be a long fight, especially now that the war is turning into an artillery duel between Russia and Ukraine in that eastern part of Ukraine, the Donbass region specifically, where Russia holds an edge in terms of artillery fires of 10-1 against Ukraine. And so my concern is that this becomes a war of attrition, where Russia is attempting now just to wear down Ukraine in terms of material, in terms of soldiers in the field, and maybe even political will and so forth. And they have all the cards in terms of more unlimited resources than Ukraine does. So yes, I think his statement is absolutely spot on. And I think it's one that we in the West, particularly the United States, leading NATO, but also the free world, need to be concerned about how this war could not necessarily turn, but evolve into this war of attrition that I mentioned earlier.
Well, we think about how long we served, or rather we had troops engaged in the conflict in the Middle East during multiple tours. But this particular situation doesn't have boots on the ground, U.S. boots on the ground. But how much more money do you think Americans will be willing to contribute? I mean, we've already spent $50 billion in support for Ukraine.
Well, on Wednesday, last Wednesday, President Biden authorized another $1 billion to arm Ukraine, and that is principally in coastal defenses, artillery, ammunition, and so forth, which I think is again, very important that we continue to supply and resupply Ukraine as they're fighting this war. The stakes are very high, however. I think the American people really, not necessarily what's hitting their pocketbook, but in terms of Russian advances can be significant in our own U.S. national security if they're allowed to not only perhaps continue the fight in Ukraine, but Ukraine loses the Donbass region and so forth. This has strategic implications. So yes, the American people need to be focused on this fight, also need to be supportive, I believe, of making sure that Putin is not successful, because it does affect us in our finances, in our economies, in our national security, and frankly, in this world order that where the U.S. still remains the sole U.S. superpower, that if Russia or China in this case silently, or if at least at worst neutral, being neutral on this, are able to maintain this position in Ukraine, because he invaded Chechnya in 1999. He invaded, Georgia in 2008 and Crimea and Donbass in 2014. Now he is kicking off the largest land attack ever since World War II. That has significant consequences to the United States.
All right. Lieutenant General Newton, thank you for being with us. I'm sure there are a lot of Americans who are saying there is no other option but to support Ukraine, no matter the cost. Thank you for your time, as always.
Good morning.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.